there, good afternoon. Welcome to Sports on the Pulse. My name is Baba Tando. So it's been all about the budget, or it's all been the budget for 2017 this year. It was delivered by Finance Minister. I beg your pardon, I was just about to say Sports Minister, but it was delivered by Finance Minister, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta. Sports, of course, was not left out of the whole statement, although very minute. Let's hear what the Finance Minister said in the sector of sports.
In the area of sports development, feasibility studies will be completed to facilitate the expansion of the infrastructure stock and transform the National Sport College into a center of excellence through public-private partnership arrangements. Additional efforts will be made to support other disciplines, starting from our schools.
All right, so if you calculated with me, it lasted for exactly 70 seconds. I mean, some have calculated it to be 90 seconds, but I calculated it to be 70 seconds. So, I mean, with this, you can also go back to when the NPP launched their manifesto in 2016, just ahead of the election. It wasn't too much information when it came to the area of sport. You want to fast forward to when President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo gave the State of the Nation address. Sports was conspicuously missing. Let me get onto the phone line and speak to a sports pundit, Ebo Appiah, on what his thoughts are. Hi, Ebo. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ebo, will I be right if I said that sports is not on the priority list of this particular government?
Not exactly, because if you had a budget of about 247 or 41,000, increased 1 million, you cannot say it's not a priority. It's almost quadruple or three times the amount of the previous one. So in terms of cash, yes. But I don't believe, I heard you in your intro talk about the amount of seconds that
the whole sports bit lasted on?
Yeah, but
lasted actually for the...
Yeah, I don't think what you want is somebody can talk for 5 minutes without a substance.
Obviously. He could have even made a statement for just 10 seconds and could have had a lot of substance. Yes.
Because in law, there are two kinds of release you can a substantive release and a declarative release. So you can go to court and win about 10 cases, but they are all declarative release. So what it means is that they are just declared. It's not a policy statement that can make a difference. But you can go to court for a substantive release, which will actually make a meaningful impact on society. So personally, I think that if the amount of money has to go, I think that's all my concern should be.
Okay, I mean, it's the money for sports has actually seen an increase, but like we've seen over the years, I mean, the money is I mean, they usually would mention the figure, but if you go down and check with the sports authority, you want to check with sometimes the GFA, you want to check with other sports bodies, they don't really get all of it. I mean, sports ministers time past have confirmed that they send budgets to the finance ministry, but they hardly ever get all of it.
I agree with you. So our conversation now should be that please give us our due.
Okay.
That's where I think I want to concentrate. That if it is 1 million, you give it to us.
But
and then the ministry or the authority will come up with a presentation as to how that particular amount will be displayed.
Exactly. Exactly. And others would also make a statement that, well, it's not about the time and it's not about whether it was conspicuously missing or not, but this is just the abridged version of the budget of 2017. But then we also want to take it from this fact that yes, when it comes to other sectors, of course, there's so much detail. There's the expansion for you to understand, for you to grasp or make do with whatever detail that is giving in that particular sector or in one sector of our economy or the other. So, I mean, I still don't get it that sports is really not on the topmost agenda of this government.
It's not of this government, it's of all the successive governments. If for 8 years we built sports stadium, we have not been able to close them, not to maintain them. So sports is not the priority in this. We should accept it. Maybe take a conversation to them that, look, you can develop the country's food store and actually make a case. I think we make too much noise without substance.
Okay.
Stop making noise, give them substantive issues as to what can be done. For me, I'm not interested in anything until all the sports to get it. As we said now, we're waiting for disaster to start. These are the things that we should raise for them infrastructure, maintain the. If you don't have that infrastructure, you can't develop sport. We don't have any infrastructure of this country of international that we can host a world tournament league. Not squash, not table tennis, no nothing. So you can't develop sports without infrastructure.
Obviously, obviously.
So that is what we should. I think the sports industry, journalism, we are deviating from what we do. Too much talk about nothing. Too much noise. We should stop this. And go to the politics and take policy, meaningful things that can have an impact on the society. And then we can take their action. Especially tell them that if you do this in your constituency, you take off people from the street, you take members from the street, they become stars, they go out, they bring in money. You need to do things that are meaningful. So for the politicians that when you invest, these are the returns you get. I think we make too much.
Okay, sure. Yeah, but don't you all, okay, I think I'm picking some thoughts from what you just said. Don't you also think that as stakeholders, we should all change the narrative? Because look, I mean, we don't have too much infrastructure when it comes to sports, but we have some. We have stadia, we have athletics facilities. Those are, they are all deteriorated. They have been left to rot, exactly. So shouldn't we change the narrative that, okay, we instead of starting from the scratch, what can we do to improve the already deteriorated ones which exist?
Exactly, Baba. I like the conversation that we are taking. I think we should go to the class one before go to 2. Don't talk to us about building new infrastructure. Fix the old one. Fix the old one. There's a Kaneshie complex. This Kaneshie sports complex fits very well. Every sporting discipline can have a place to play. It's a major facility. You can put a facility about 500 and 600 people. So it means that if there's a tennis story, they can go there and play and come. If there's hockey, they can go and play there and come. Whatever. You see, we have infrastructure that's less to let's fix before we talk about it. Okay?
So exactly. So instead of saying that you would want to conduct feasibility studies to facilitate the expansion of infrastructure stock, we need to change it. So the public-private partnership should rather center on managing the already existing edifices.
I mean, it's a shame that the living president of President. So I pray nobody goes to show him the picture. This is not taking. But it doesn't affect his health. Something to keep his life on the line, fix the serious for us. And it's left all to be killed. Less than 10 years. It's all right. That's a good point. Let's fix the stadium. Let's fix the tennis court. Let's fix the hockey pitch. Let's fix the volleyball court. Let's fix the basketball court. Let's fix the handball court. We have them. In the schools, the university, we have them. Let's fix them. Then we talk about new ones. That's my.
All right, well, my final question to you. Let me push you to the wall a little bit. So, were you impressed with everything that was encapsulated in the sector of sports by?
Once the money was increased, I'm for it. If you didn't increase the money, then I was. But once the money is increased, I'm for it. Let's sit down with the ministry. Let's come up with a top project based plan. Now they're going to be there. And we just
Wow. All right, Ebu Appiah, I'll leave it here. I'm sure very soon our paths will be crossing and then we'll expand our discussion further. But that was sports pundit Ebu Appiah joining us on the phone, talking about, what the finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, said when it came to the sports sector, conducting feasibility studies completing feasibility studies to facilitate the expansion of the infrastructure stock and transform the National Sports College into a center of excellence through public-private partnership arrangements. But like Ebu said, the narrative should be changed. We already have existing structures which have been left to rot. We should manage these ones better, maintain them, and probably look beyond that. When we have, gotten the right development that we want, then we can look beyond and start from the scratch to build more or add on to the already existing structures. There's more sports on the sports page on myjoyonline.com, and we are also tweeting live on the handle JoySportsGH. On Facebook, you can find us. The address is Joy Sports. My personal Twitter handle is @Babatando. Good afternoon.
We've been discussing the 2017 budget right here. Very soon we'll be going on social media as we wrap up, pick up some thoughts on social media and what people are saying and what's trending basically. But just before we do that, a very quick one here. violence, of course, is a threat to all women, and women need to know how to defend themselves. So there's a group called Lokanda, and it's been led by Lord Kojo Ando, who is founder of it. Actually, they've been taking some women through basic self-defense techniques.
The main focus is to help women out there. And we're trying to give women that confidence and that opportunity to learn basic techniques that they may not be learning in their classrooms, at their workplaces and all that. Safety is one peculiar thing that Lokanda is trying to, make every woman out there, regardless of their sizes. Self-defense is a basic technique that everybody out there can practice.
The woman is to shake my back. Watch me. Hello, with my waist. Watch me. Go. Shift your back like with your waist this way.
You may not have to go through a longer, section like Taekwondo. Yes, Taekwondo is good, Kung Fu is good. That is where we are from. But these are techniques that have been broken down into, smaller techniques to make the ordinary Ghanaian be able to defend themselves at that anomaly stages. Exactly.
After the exercise today, do you think these students have learned something? Per what you do you think the students have learned something?
Yes, they have. Abruptly, a girl just held another girl from behind, and he was able to just turn and defend herself. It's about impulse. Your reflex begins to grow as and when you keep practicing. So the main idea is not to actually teach and go. We leave someone here amongst the students that we're going to train so that they can actually go to that particular student to be training them every time they need self-defense. So it's something that has come to stay. It's not a difficult thing to do. It's very simple and very effective to do. You don't really have to go through so much pain to do that. Exactly.
Are you doing it in all UPS, or you plan doing it in other schools?
No, we've had a few programs with other schools like Ghana Telecom last year, and even UPS last year, and some other secondary schools. But we are wanting to go to the entire, secondary schools and universities to get them trained, because what I believe in is that we are learning in the classroom, and we all go out of school to look for jobs, and we are left alone to live our lives.
Go. 1, 2. And you put it there, okay? Ready?
And of course, this is happening at the University of Professional Studies, Accra. Remember, the Finance Minister speaks about equipping our students with skills that helps them get through life. Well, this is just one of them, especially for our female students. I'm not sure if we're able to bring you the thoughts on social media. It appears we are. Let's see what people are saying on Facebook about the budget. Ifrap Becky says, NDC people are crying, oh, poor you. Anyway, guys, stop crying. Why? NPP are in a comfortable lead, and it comes to governorship, you say? Okay. Stone Owusu says, Baba, go to bed and come back when he's finished reading. Baba, go to bed and come back when he's finished reading the budget statement. Then we can educate you on some of the technicalities of what he presented. I believe someone had made a previous comment about how technical the whole budget sounded and his perhaps inability to understand. Sani says, during his vetting process, Honorable Harun Idrisu said the level of Ken Ofori-Attah's sincerity has left him with no questions for him. Stone also again says the president has said we should all be punctual in our day-to-day activities. It's 10 a.m. and we're still waiting. Change your attitudes, MPs. You're talking about what's happening, punctuality in Parliament. Mr. Minister, you do all. May Allah help you. It is my belief that Ghana will work again. Inshallah, blessed our homeland, Ghana. Those are some of the comments on social media. I will bring you some more in our subsequent bulletins. My name is Gifty Ando Apia. For more news, why don't you log on to myjoyonline.com.